All right, what's up, everybody? Baseball After Dark. We're going to do this a little later today, 9:48 Eastern Time, Wednesday, March 18th. Thanks for bearing with me on this. All right, looks like we have a little action. I wanted to recap. I said goodnight yesterday, and I believe it was like about to be the 7th inning of the Venezuela game. Yeah, it looks like bottom 6. Obviously, I watched the rest of it. Do you have the keys, Brad? Well, are you going to leave this one? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the bottom 6, but obviously I watched the rest of the game, so I saw what happened. So congrats to Venezuela. Very happy for those guys. I mean, you could see what it meant to them. You know, homeboy Palencia was crying before he made the last pitch. So very, very cool. They deserved it. They pitched their asses off. Eduardo was amazing last night. The bullpen, a bunch of my guys pitched in this game last night. Very cool to watch. Buto do a great job in a huge game. Erod as well. So big time congrats for them. Obviously, USA made it interesting with the Bryce home run. Just trying to get the website to work here a little bit. And then we'll watch all this stuff. But it was amazing. It was really, really good. All right, while this loads, which I don't know what the hell's going on, I will say hi to a few people. Who's in here? We got Philip. We got Dan, of course. Cobra. Whole bunch of people. So I'm excited. Oh, welcome into catching a stream, Daniel. Very happy to have you here. I don't know what the hell's going on with my browser. So we're just going to go ahead and start fresh on Baseball Savant, see if that loads faster. All right, let me just get in the box score here for 1 second. Yeah, Zerpa's so nasty. He pitched great. Buto, my guy, pretty clean inning, 1 hit overall, 17 pitches. Machado, who's in Japan which I didn't even really know about. He got clipped by the home run for Harper, so we'll watch that whole at bat, of course. And then Palencia, you know, for my money, he might have been the most dominant guy in the tournament out of the bullpen. He really, really dominated in this tournament. I don't have the tournament stats up here, but he was lights out. He was really, really lights out. Okay, so a few things to lock in on. Right off the rip is the Harper home run. Right, the Harper home run was crazy. What can I say? It had been brewing a little bit. We were talking about how he probably shouldn't even be starting that game. When you had Goldschmidt there. Goldschmidt's on the team to face the lefties. Bryce had been struggling. He did get a hit earlier in this game, a double. Stayed on an off-speed pitch, I believe. And he ends up getting this at-bat. 2 outs, man on first in the 8th. Nowhere to put him. Judge on deck. So obviously they're going to go right at him. And what's that hard hit column with the Flames? That just tells you how many hard hits each pitcher allowed. Either a player had or a pitcher allowed. That's what it shows you in Savant. Anyway, let's go get into this right here. 2 pitches, I'm pretty sure, is all it is. Changeup. And it's interesting, earlier in the WBC, he was getting beat a lot by fastballs up top. Not sure why the game plan here was changeup. Santana had just gone out there and talked to him on the mound. Don't really get it. I think it was poor strategy. I think you could beat this guy up right now. But anyway, they don't. And nevertheless, this is just an incredible swing. I mean, look, it's a really bad pitch, middle down, but that's what it looks like when he demolishes it. Machado's, all he can do is smile. Let's watch Bryce from the side. So it's just a 2-pitch sequence, changeup. I'm not really sure why. Machado throwing 98. Bryce is having trouble with velocity. He's been missing pitches the whole tournament. I didn't really understand this. Maybe not the biggest fan in the world of his home run trot. I mean, I get having passion, but it looks like he was more about the camera than his teammates here. And you can tell that he's definitely thinking about, I don't know, maybe with the fans' opinions and stuff like that. I don't know. It just didn't feel as genuine to me as perhaps the Eugenio Suarez double, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, really bad pitch. obviously it's a great swing. I mean, he's got a beautiful swing, and when it's all connected and it all flows, I mean, it's ridiculous. There's a reason why he was on Sports Illustrated when he was young. I mean, the talent's never been in question. But yeah, man, I think that USA, for real, they could feel the pressure. They could feel the pressure. A lot of guys swinging outside themselves. Really all the runs they scored are on home runs the last 2 games. They get the 2 solo shots and they squeeze out 2-1 versus DR because of some great pitching. And then in this one, it's just, this is the only way they scored, is this home run right here. So I think that's really the story of why they didn't win the WBC, if it really comes down to it. Offense just went cold. It's this time of year. That can happen for sure. You don't want to throw it there, folks. Definitely don't want to throw a mid-speed pitch. And in this case, his mid-speed is 93, right down the middle. I mean, that's prime speed for Harper, and that's what kind of happened in that bat. It's pretty simple. All right, other than that, we have to lock in on my good friend Garrett Whitlock, who just didn't have it last night. And because of the 3-batter rule and because of the unwillingness to pitch Mason Miller in this game, they end up squeaking a run out off him. But very uncharacteristic outing from Garrett. He's been lights out. I thought he was actually probably their most impressive pitcher in the tournament up until now. This is the 3rd game in 5 days. He's got Arise leading off. He's trying to find a way on base here. First pitch slider, nowhere close. It's very strange to watch Witt pitch this way because he's got great command. I just think he's a little fatigued. I think it's clear as day he's a little fatigued in this one. Missing high to the arm side, pulling a few sliders, just not getting through his pitches exactly where he wanted to. Obviously, it's a shame. The Red Sox were awesome with all their guys in the WBC. Weissert was able to throw 5 outs. Whitlock's able to go 3 out of 5 days in a huge game. Like, they get it. Like, Alex gets it. Whoever else is making these decisions with the Red Sox gets it a little bit, but he did get a little exposed here by just not being sharp. 93 on the sinker. I mean, he was 95, 96, I want to say, in his previous outings. I think he gets screwed on this pitch. I think this is technically a strike, but with 3 non-competitive ones in there, umpire, swallows his strike call there, and Arise gets on. And, leadoff walk always spells doom for a late inning reliever. It happened to us the other day. Lorenzen was rolling, leadoff walk, and then it's like, that's one less hit they got to get. They got a guy on base. They can move him along a little bit. It's one less hit you got to get if you get that leadoff walk. Seems like they always come back to haunt. Also, a very key steal here by Sanoa. This play was very close. Me and my nephew, when we were watching it, literally can't tell. But the call on the field is that he's in there. And usually when the call on the field's there, they're going to just keep that. So, this was as close as it gets. I mean, the throw beats him, but it's a tough pick by Bryce Terang. He has to kind of get up high on the in-between hop here, and that gives him just enough of a give of the glove to not get to the foot in time. So Sanoa, probably one of the least famous players on the Venezuelan roster, comes up with that Dave Roberts stolen base in this situation, getting to second base here. Now, there is no outs. Maybe they drive him in anyway. But that was a big time play. Big time play there. And then we will get to the Suarez at-bat right here. So Suarez really wasn't getting the playing time as much at the beginning of the tournament, but played the last 2 games, clipped Nola, which was a big moment to get Venezuela on the board versus Italy. And then he puts together this at-bat versus Witt. Slider away, not close. And this is where Will Smith sees it right away, and he hops in there. And I don't know whether he turns his head here to the umpire to call time, or if he's already looking in the dugout like, hey, I'm seeing something. We got to get this guy out of here. But that's what I was thinking watching it, because, I mean, I played with Witt as a rookie. He just doesn't fall behind in the count. He's one of the most consistent guys I've seen at winning the race to 2 strikes. He's got great command, very consistent in everything he does. So this was just an uncharacteristic outing. As for the attack to Suarez, they showed a willingness to pitch him in for the most part in this game with sinkers. He went and got that curveball down and away from Nola and hooked it for a home run against us. So they had some success early in the game with McLean pounding him in with sinkers, trying to not allow him to go ahead and chase there. There's another sinker in. This time he takes it. Sanoa gets in there by the fingertips. Interesting on that clip. Watch Acuna. Acuna knows that the steal's on, right? And as a base runner himself, he's stressed about it. Look at him. He's looking at him. He's telling him, wide up. Get a bigger lead. Get a bigger lead. He's trying to give him feedback from the bench. Obviously, Javier's not looking at him, but Ronald wears his emotions on his sleeve, obviously. So anyway, there was the big steal, but furthermore, it was a 2-1 count. I did think this was the best pitch that Witt threw of the sequence. This is a really good changeup. Now, it's a missed spot. Smith's actually set up in, but Witt has a Bugs Bunny on him. And look at this pitch. This pitch just stops in midair, and he does go for his lean. Like, that's the lane he wants the ball in. He wants the ball middle of the way, and he wants to go dive at it and pull it. That was a dandy. But then you'll watch after that, he's not really able to make that pitch again. And one of the worst things that happens to a pitcher is you make your best pitch to get to strike 2. And then you don't really have a better pitch to go to that for strike 3. So maybe you try to make it nastier and you screw it up, or you just flat out make a mistake with it because it's hard to make 2 perfect pitches in a row. So here's the 2-2, hanging changeup down the middle. Surprised that one wasn't smacked. I mean, look at this location right here. I mean, that's a medium speed pitch to Suarez that he can pull. That's like what he wants. But you can already see, though, he's still committed to hunting that outer corner, and he almost kind of jams himself there. Anyway, for some reason, well, here's the sinker. Another miss. Tries to go up in, which is probably a good idea off the changeup, but up and in miss, non-competitive. I also don't like the way that Witt shakes his elbow out after this. But this is the hallmark of his outing. He made some non-competitive pitches. See, I hated the way he just shook his elbow out after that. I do not like that at all. Then they go back to the changeup, but this time it's more hittable. Gino was able to do his dive and hook thing. Puts it right in the gap and gives Venezuela the go-ahead and eventual winning run. So, Whitlock for me is one of the best relievers in the game. This will not define him at all. But I mean, he just didn't have a good outing last night. Didn't really have it going for him. Didn't make pitches when he needed to. Didn't put guys away. And Suarez comes up huge. I also love his immediate. See, like, his celebration to me feels. It's everything you need to know. I mean, this was like a spiritual moment for him. He talked about it after the game. Obviously, very religious guy. I know they do a lot of prayers before the game and that sort of thing. But he was having a little conversation with him and his God up there at that moment. So big time play there. Whitlock was able to stick with it, which is a pro's pro. I was telling my nephew last night, like, this is one of those situations where you already know that you already got that pit in your stomach. You gave up probably the winning run here. You feel like you just let everybody down in the building. But at the same time, you still got to get outs. You're not done yet. You got to get outs. They might take you out any minute. Then you're going to really feel that pain, but like, you got to go ahead and get outs here. So he did get ahead to the 1-2 count in this situation, and that's not really where he wants to throw it, but he does get an out. And then that was it for Witt. They took him out. They go ahead and bring in, who'd they bring in? Rogers. And he gets through the last out of the inning. But that was it. That was all it really took. They got ahead there. And then Palencia was able to come in and do his thing. Just a dominant outing here. Let's watch the whole thing. Because in a way, I'm a little surprised Michael Garcia won the MVP. I thought Palencia might have had a shot at it. He was tremendous. Their bullpen for me was kind of a big difference maker in this WBC. Everybody threw well out of their pen. And I think Zerpa might have been a certain secret weapon where, I mean, left on left, you got no shot. And then when you have a lights out closer for a 2-week period in a tournament, that's gonna go a long way. That was a pitch that should have got hit. Schwarber was a little off as well. Like, Judge had some really tough ABs in this game, but I also feel like Schwarber did. I mean, I know this is a high splitter. It's a weird pitch. It kind of fools you because it's not where the pitcher wants to throw it. But that ball could have been hit, not hit. And then after that, it's a little too late because now he's going to come with straight gas. And that's a good location. That's that up and away swing through. I don't know what type of vert this pitch had on it, but it looks like it's an elevator ball. Looks like it goes straight up. Schwarber can't catch it. And just a great pitch for the first out of the ninth. Then Gunnar gets in the game finally. He didn't start the game. They started Bregman versus the lefty. Gunnar had been red hot, maybe the best hitter U.S. had in the tournament. And he ends up popping out on this 1-0. Fastball middle in, good swing. But just didn't quite get there. Pretty hard to come off the bench and hit 100 miles an hour, I will say that. So no fault of his. He got one pass at it and did not barrel that one up. So that's the second out. And then, Roman, who, for my money, as the inning started, I think in Discord, I called that Roman was going to walk it off. Now, he couldn't walk it off because he had nobody on base. And I thought he would be, and he was calm up there. But, Palencia, this was kind of meant to be for him and for these boys from Venezuela. This was a long time coming. They were being majorly slept on. They're a big-time baseball country. I mean, this is a star-studded team with just electricity everywhere. And Palencia, put the stamp on it with electricity here for sure. This was a very interesting front door splitter. Not sure he meant to do that. You see Salvi set up down and away. Sometimes you get the happy accident. That's not what Roman's going to fire at. That's just a weird pitch. And then he goes ahead and ends the whole thing right here with just an absolute screaming four-seamer with everything he had behind it. And honestly, a pitch that Roman can handle generally, but this ball had some serious hair on it. And he's just under it. So that's it. USA loses by the exact same score in the final of the WBC that we lost in 23 when I was there to Japan, 3-2. And that was kind of it. If there's other stuff from this game you want me to look at, I'll certainly look at it, and then we'll go hunt around a little bit for some other things. So I'm going to go ahead and get in the chat here for a minute. Hope everybody's good. Let me backtrack a little bit here into the chat. USA losing made me happy for the first time ever. So I wouldn't say it made me happy, but I was happy for Venezuela, and I can see how the USA experience this year just felt almost too much like pressure and not enough like joy. That's what I think that's my read on the situation, especially being on a team that played with house money. Like I played with Italy this year, full house money situation, just having fun, seeing what you can do. It's really easy to play baseball like that. It's very freeing. Venezuela and DR, those guys, I feel like they bring a party atmosphere to it. They're just so happy to be a part of it. Maybe they're not necessarily afraid to fail the same way some of the U.S. guys might be. And I'm not saying that's universal, but energy like that is a real thing, I would say for sure. Just glad McLean didn't get injured. Yeah, everybody seems to be healthy. We'll see if there's anything that comes out in the next day or two of any more aftermath. But for the most part, a lot of guys got through this thing healthy, which is great. Great for baseball, obviously, because we have a regular season here in, 7-8 days. It's more these guys play in front of USA fans all year, every year. It's hard to pull the same passion. Okay, so now we're talking about the passion side of it. So there's been a lot of debate over what's bigger, WBC or World Series, and I think a lot of people are trying to do the whole comparison game when I don't think it really makes a lot of sense. They're just different things. This is a single game elimination tournament once you hit the knockout stage. It literally resembles nothing else in baseball. Also, the element of the national team fans showing up make the atmospheres completely different. I've played now 2 games versus Venezuela in Miami over the last 2 WBCs. Both of those are on the short list, top 5 loudest environments I've ever been in. And you just got to give credit to the crowd itself. They come with it. They bring the drums. People show out. They dress up for the game. It's an event to them. It means a lot to them. It's the place to be. And, I think the U.S. fans were also quite into the game. When Harper went deep, there was a lot of noise in that stadium as well. And I think people were very passionate as well. It's just the culture, the American baseball culture is not as fanatical. We don't add in a lot of the flavor that the Latin countries do. We don't have different traditions. So it's just a little different, but I do think it adds up a little bit to that atmosphere I was talking about before, where it's just more of a dynamic of some teams are playing with joy and some teams are playing with pressure. So that's one part of it. And then the second part of it is, I was thinking about this last night. If somebody asked me the same question, I think it's a stupid question, but I would say winning a World Series would probably mean more to me. And I think that's because that's the thing I've been hunting the longest. And it comes at the end of a 8-9 month period together with a group of guys. And it's a total gauntlet of a playoff series and all the ups and downs of it. And there's so many different factors where I think if I got to the mountaintop of the World Series, that would be like my crying moment in baseball. That would have been that. I think WBC would have meant a lot, but I think for whatever reason, it just has carried more significance in some of these other countries than maybe in US. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's how it has felt. So just want to put my opinion out there on that. All right, what else we got here? Sometimes you just hop on the magic carpet right at the right time and everything goes smoothly till it doesn't. These games are tight. It's one game and you're out. They lost by 1 run. They're right there. They did a lot of things well. They got beat. One tough performance loses the game there. Judge went 0 for 8 with 4 Ks versus Venezuela and Italy. Yeah, so let's watch some of the Judgy at-bats. I think that's fair in this game. Look, he's the best hitter in the world. He just is. But he had a tough go. Guys pitched him really well. And he also had some pitches to hit that he didn't fire on, which I thought were weird. And some pitches that guys just made pitches. That's a very good first pitch by Erod. They're dotted in. Here comes the changeup, the patented changeup. I didn't really give you a good view of that, so we'll watch it again. Pretty easy take for Judgy there. Like, there's still plenty of signs that it was still Aaron Judge up there. The takes look comfortable. He hit a ball hard the other night to center. They got robbed by J-Rod. That's a good take. But guys made pitches, and there's definitely a couple opportunities that just were not capitalized on the way he normally does. And I don't know, like that's dotted. I mean, that's a pitch he can handle, but it's also dotted right on the corner. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, he feels the pressure, and maybe he does. I mean, that's what it looks like at times, but it's also maybe unfair in a way. I'll just say, look, he just didn't happen to have a very good game here. Here's the backdoor cutter. I looked at it a million times. I think it's touching, so I think it's technically a perfect pitch, so you can't really fault Judge here. It's literally a perfect pitch. But, I mean, it's also not a pitch you can swing at. So in this at-bat, I think it was Erod. I think Erod was the one who was the success there. All right, second at-bat, Erod again. Let's watch this one. So first at-bat, I would say more pitcher good than hitter bad, but let's see the second at-bat. Starting him with the changeup. Good take again. He's seeing the changeup really well. First 3 changeups he's seen, he's spit on all of them. All right, fastball. Going to go back in. That's a very hittable pitch and a predictable pitch considering that first at-bat. He's gone in there twice. All he did that whole at-bat was challenge him with fastballs in and changeups away, and then he threw the backdoor cutter once he had shown him 2 of each. This is a very hittable pitch. To me, this is an opportunity squandered. You can see Eddie gives a face too. I mean, look at Eddie's reaction. Just lock in on Eddie and the tongue out as soon as this ball's fouled off. So you can tell that he missed. He knows he missed a little bit over the plate there. So that's one opportunity missed. 1-1 count, back to the changeup. This time he gets it in the zone. Really good pitch. So good swing decision by Judge, but also a really good pitch. 1-2. And now he's going to get him on the changeup. This is the one that now he chases. So maybe that was set up by that previous cutter because that kind of comes out of that window. It's away, and then that cutter ran back to the corner. So he feels like he has to honor it. He doesn't want to get punched out the same way twice. Goes to swing, but it's the fish. Instead of the cutter, it's the dead fish. So great pitch there, and quite possibly used a pitch from a previous at-bat to tunnel that. So he had one pitch to hit there for sure. Didn't hit it, but it's a small margin. Barry Bonds got one pitch to hit a game. Generally hit it. Judge does too. Didn't last night. All right, Budo, third time. Budo gets him. So now it's right on right. Totally new scenario here. So let's go pitch by pitch. We are 2 outs, man on first. So he's tying run at the plate. Nowhere to put him really because Schwarber's a bad matchup. Slider down, take. Pretty easy take there. I think we watched this on the stream last night. Slider down, take. 2-0. This is the pitch that should get crushed. Slider middle. Take. Weird. Weird that he doesn't swing at that. To me, that's even more hittable than that fastball in. So that's 2 opportunities missed. 2-1. This is going to be a slider for a ball, I believe. Good take. He's doing a lot of things well. It's just the pitches he's getting, he's not hammering them. Swing decisions have been okay, I'd say, for the most part. 3-1. Here's one where he should have swung. This is another squandered opportunity. He doesn't miss that too often. So that's 3. 3 opportunities missed. And then on 3-2, I thought this was pretty hittable as well. Slider in the zone. Yeah, so 4. 4 opportunities missed there through the first 3 at-bats. And then the last at-bats versus Machado. He's going to strike out again. Let's see if he had anything to hit in this at-bat. I don't really remember now. First pitch, high slider, ball. Second pitch, cambio. That's a good pitch. Very good pitch. I'm not going to say that was an opportunity. That's a very good pitch. All right, 1-1. Back to the changeup. Perfect pitch again. So I would say 2 really good pitches there by Machado. He's going to triple up on the changeup here. And this time he catches him looking. So weird take there. Not really sure why the take there. Trying to make a good swing decision. Maybe he perceived that he chased the previous pitch, but drops it right in there. So just a weird game. Just didn't have it. 3 strikeouts and the ground out. Had at least 4, maybe 5 opportunities on pitches to do damage there. So I just wanted to look at that. I thought that was interesting to see. He's obviously the best hitter in the world, in my opinion, but had a tough game, and they needed somebody to step up. And considering they can't get any rallies going in any type of sustained singles and walk attack, they're relying on homers, so it's tough. All right, here we go. Can't compare the two. Both WBC and World Series are special in their own way. No need to compare them. It's BS media driven. I agree with you, Carl. I'm on the same page as you. Introspective of the crowd, Team USA was just weird. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are on the same thing. The USA fun looked fake. American elitism that we don't need to root hard. We are American. We will win anyway. Corporate fun. DeRosa looks like Ari Gold a little bit. Shut the fuck up, Lloyd. I missed that show. I don't know. Just the military stuff. It's not what I would do if I were running the club, but I get it. Some people, that's what America means to them. And so whatever, if that's going to motivate you, I mean, it seems like it was trying to motivate a lot of these guys, fine, but it's not what I would have done. The World Series is the Tour de France times 100. Yes, it's a marathon. Absolutely. I'm getting text after text after text, so I need to go ahead and turn my text off because that is annoying on the stream here. Hopefully that will work. All right, let's keep going. It's an endurance. I like that. Everybody says it's a marathon, but it's an endurance. That's true. Maybe playing in another country would be good for the USA, like a refresh for those players. That's not a bad idea. Why not put them in a pool where they're not the host team one time? I guess you wouldn't do that because you want to sell tickets, but there'd be a big draw somewhere else. And maybe that would help them. I often think playing on the road when you're on a team with big expectations is sometimes a little bit easier. I've talked about this in the past. Sometimes at home, when the vibes become negative, that permeates the ball club a little bit. But I think that on the road, it's like more of a us against them mentality, and nobody likes you anyway. So for somehow that dynamic shifts a little bit. Maybe it's because you're a veteran chasing the World Series your whole career. Aren't the other country superstars pretty young in their careers as well? Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, also the World Baseball Classic wasn't a thing when I was growing up. I told you this is going to be the fabric of baseball moving forward. I think that these games will all be, these are legendary games. These will go down. Eventually, we'll play the 20th Classic, you know, when I'm old man. Hopefully I'm still alive, I guess, in that point. But you'll play the 10th. This was the 6th Classic. They'll say, oh, in the 10th Classic, the 20th Classic, the 30th Classic. You know, this will all become part of history, and these games will be big. And when people grow up with it, maybe it will be more significant to them. But anyway, I think that's how I thought about it a little bit. Just like I have been chasing the World Series, and in a way, I think that would have made me a bit more emotional about winning it. But at the same time, this would have been pretty dang cool too. All right, what else we got here in the chat? All of you make good points and would probably be welcomed in Venezuela. All right, what else we got here? Why wasn't Pete invited to Team USA? Well, I mean, they can only have one first baseman really play. It looks like Goldie was content to be a bench option. I don't think a lot of these guys, like, I think there was a tough choice. We've discussed it a lot on here. Bush, Olsen, Alonso, Harper all had a pretty good claim to this spot. Kurtz even. And they went with Harper. You know, he's the OG. So at this point, I get it. I don't know if I would have made that call or not, but I get it. And look, you did have that great swing yesterday. Oh, good to see you yesterday, Ray, as well. You and Danny, that was cool. Good to see you guys. For me, the problem with Judge isn't that it is that sometimes he needs to be more aggressive, like last year versus Farland, be more unpredictable and attack. He's just trying to make good swing decisions. I don't think he has like necessarily much of a pattern at the plate. I've studied him quite a bit. Guys are just so afraid, so sometimes they do run into perfect pitches against him. He had 4 or 5 pitches that he normally hammers, and he didn't. That's all. Yeah, dead fish is a changeup. I was actually talking about this with Sal Fasano the other day. Like, there's a lot of baseball slang that the young guys don't know. Like the fish is the changeup. You throw the dead fish. How much do you think Erod's performance was him pitching fantastically, and how much was Team USA failing? I think for the most part, he pitched great. Of course, no matter what, no matter how good you pitch, the hitters are going to have a few pitches to capitalize on. The idea is to minimize those. In my eye, he did. In my view, he did. He really minimized his mistakes. His only walk was like a 2-out walk to Schwarber, where he was kind of non-competitive. Really, overall, I thought Eduardo pitched really well. Probably the best performance he's had in a long time in a big game. Yeah, 1 hit, 1 walk. Lived on the edges. And he's the type of pitcher that can expose you if you're a little bit too eager. So I thought he did a great job for the most part. I'll give him the credit. Not sure if you talked about it or did you think this is a good sign for Erod getting back to the guy who's supposed to be? I mean, look, he hasn't looked good since Detroit, where he was outstanding that last year in Detroit. I guess that's 2 years ago. He got hurt right away, and then we haven't really seen the real Eddie in Arizona. Of course, it's a good sign. It's a good sign that he looks this good. It's a long season, and hopefully he can stay healthy is the biggest thing. If he's out there with his good stuff, the command is usually a given with him if he's healthy. The stuff is not. So we'll see. All right, let me keep moving here. Let's see here. Adam, do you think the USA in 2029 WC should go with less power hitters and have more lineup that guys can bunt, steal, and manufacture runs? I don't know. This is the age-old question, right? I mean, there's a lot of predictability in home run power. It's the easiest way to score a run. It's one swing. You don't need a chain of events to happen. The rest of baseball run scoring is chain of event related, right? A walk and 2 hits, or a hit by pitch and a double, an error and a triple, that type of thing. Two things have to happen, or at least, to score the run. The home run is just, you hit it, and if you have guys on base, it's multiple runs. So I get it. And I don't think to be fair, they were completely made up of power hitters. Witt is an outstanding contact guy. Bregman is. Anthony is. Those guys are big on base guys. Terang. Buxton looked lost at the plate, but They got him out of there as soon as the righty went in there. I don't know. I mean, yeah, in the middle of the lineup, but you're not going to not have a Judge and a Schwarber in there either. Sorry, I should be sharing the screen here to look at that lineup. But I don't think they did a bad job with the roster construction. I just think a couple guys were really out of whack, Buxton being one of them, Judge being another, Harper Early being pretty out of whack. Witt hit some balls hard, got nothing to show for it. I don't think Schwarber has a 320 average, but he didn't really feel dominant to me either. Obviously, Bregman was a bit out of whack, and Henderson was the guy, but he didn't get enough ABs. I like the roster construction, though. I think Michael Hill and USA did a pretty good job with it. We didn't criticize it beforehand. I think it was the right thing. All right, what else we got here? Shout out Entourage. I heard Maduro's last wish was Arepas and have his boys win. Well, they won. I mean, a lot of the scenes I've seen from Caracas and the other places in Venezuela, Barquisimeto, lots of places have looked really, really cool. It's just really cool for them. It meant a lot to them. You could see it. The emotion was raw and real. I think WBC means a lot more to me, to everyone except the U.S., because it's a little brother effect. All these countries are trying to prove they can hang with the U.S. That's probably a factor as well. I think that's a good comment. Thanks for that, MIA 2PR. Miami to Puerto Rico. I love that. No, I think you're right. The little brother effect is real. It's hard to be the favorite in things. It just is. It puts a little bit more of a pressure. It's more of a relief when you win. It's funny. It's a very funny human dynamic, don't you guys think? I think that's a very funny human dynamic. All right, we'll stay in the chat here for a little bit, and then we'll probably move on from the WBC soon. I know this is a great chat so far. You guys have been awesome. Not sure if it's been asked, but I've seen some chat about more player teams being interested if being involved, if it was during the All-Star break. I think the players are all in at this point. It's just like some guys have health things to worry about. Teams obviously have health things to worry about. Talked about it a little bit on a podcast today with my guy, John Jastrzemski. I'm open-minded to the idea of the first round now and then the knockout stage right sometime in the All-Star break, but I think the All-Star game is an important event too. And there's other unforeseen variables there too. So I don't know. I definitely got WBC favor. I think a lot of people did. Insanely small sample size, 6 games. They lost by 1 run in the last inning of the last game. It's true. It is a small sample size. I actually think that, hold on. What'd you say, Oaks? Oaks, you good? Yeah. Okay. Do you want to turn off the lights? Is it too bright in here? Okay, because it's pretty late. You should dim the lights at least. Please? Okie, please? Just because it's like, you should close your eyes soon. Yeah, it is a small sample. But again, that's what makes this so interesting. It's just extreme variance. I mean, look, we went 5-1, Italy. 5-1. We played really good and loose and free, and that's all you need in a tournament like this sometimes. I mean, in baseball, these are all great. That's much better. Much better. In baseball, these are all outstanding teams, but they're also, the margin's not as big as people think. All big leaguers are pretty good players and can do some things. And there was a ton of them on the field in this tournament. All right, what else we got here? Send USA to Japan to play. I mean, that would be fun. A lot of people would want that. Harper worked out in the end, made it to the final game. He came through. Credit where credit's due. He certainly did come through. He saved his WBC in a span of 20 minutes. Also, the handshaking with the Venezuelans after losing, that was a good move as well. Got to give him credit for that too. Always be gracious in defeat if you can stomach it, for sure. I think format and timing is great, should not be changed. Only game in town, first baseball back from the offseason. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that we just screw the whole thing up if we change it, right? Because this is a known commodity now. We know this is awesome, right? So if we know it's awesome, then why mess with it? There's a lot of stuff for that. Random hot take, WBC is an opportunity for managers to stop wearing uniforms. That's the number one rule I want to change. Only players should wear uniforms. What do we want them to wear? Like suits again? Or do we want like just to wear whatever you want? Or do you want like a jumpsuit? I don't know. What's the look here? Does the Italian manager get to wear like a velour jumpsuit? How does that work? Do you look at your Baseball Savant page when you're bored? Not recently, but when I was playing, I checked it damn near every day. I mean, amongst other things. Good question. All right, what else we got? I believe the WBC is the MLB product with more potential. You don't see huge crowd like it in Caracas yesterday besides the World Cup. So a couple years ago, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago, I used to hang out with my good buddy Scott Oberg, and we would play chess at night, and we would hang out and wind down after the games, and we would talk about baseball and other things, of course. And I remember at one point we came up with an idea to make baseball insanely popular, and a lot of it was completely changing the sport into a football style where you only play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Therefore, you are allowed 5 days of buildup between each series of the year. And then also then you'd be forcing teams to have their best pitchers in there a higher percentage of the time. Yes, it would be harder for the hitters, but there'd be more variance in here, and there'd be a lot more hype and narrative around every matchup instead of just the normal marathon. And it seems in today's society, and you can see the, especially with the example of football, less games, more scarcity in the product seems to bring the mainstream people over a little easier. It's less of a commitment. I mean, I know everybody on my stream loves baseball probably the way it is because we love the grind. We love the companionship of the 162, the 6 to 8 month. I just like it as a friend. And so it's my friend, that I get to see and take a look at every day. But I do think that from a hype standpoint, it's sort of the same dynamic you see in the WBC. It's just like less games, they're more meaningful, and people kind of lose their mind over that dynamic. All right, I'm going to skip ahead a lot. I'm sorry if I miss a few people in the chat. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, Joe Madden should manage next time. It looks like DeRosa's not giving it up that easy. I already watched Nolan's outing yesterday. You can catch a lot of that on the stream if you want. Max says the WBC should start now with people more built up. Yeah, I know his opinion. I know he wanted to push it back a little bit. I don't know. Does that really change much? You could just get ready a little earlier. Not sure if that matters. Leland was the manager the last time they won. Last 4 WBCs have been won by 4 different countries. Last 6 World Cups have been won by 6 different countries. Okay, I like that. I don't know if it's parity, but it's opportunity there. That Italia game, never been in a seat that the floor was vibrating. Yeah, it was crazy. And the game against Venezuela, when they mounted the rally on us, how loud it was, the drums, the vibrations in the stadium were real. It's just crazy, man. You bring a good product to Miami, and the people will turn out. Obviously, it's a little different than the 162, but yeah. That Marcy double play against Venezuela had me hyped. Yeah, can we watch that again real quick? Because it's from a couple days ago. I will take a break from the chat to take a look at this because this was the second consecutive incredible deke by Antonacci. Back-to-back games? Back-to-back games. He does his dive deke at second, and they get a free double play. It's just ridiculous play here. Marcy ends up being able to double him off. Pretty good throw here. And Vinny must have picked 20 balls. But if you watch the center field cam, you'll see Antonacci. Watch Sam here. The fake dive just kind of trips up Garcia. He doesn't know where the ball is till now. Sees it, and then it's a little bit too late. You can see what happens on the high home. But he's done this now twice, and I think the dive is what makes it abnormal. You don't see anybody else diving. So he's literally like fooling infielders with this play, which is what's so amazing to me. It's not like he's fooling some outfielder who doesn't have any awareness. Like he's fooling infielders who know this play inside and out. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. I thought that was really fun. All right, I'm going to skip forward even more. Yeah, chess. Love to play chess. You're more of a B-War over F-War guy, right? Yes. So let's say, like, they're both useful, but to me, like, F-War, like, if I'm looking to evaluate for the future and I want to know underlying numbers, like, I'm still probably not even looking at FIP that much. Like, maybe over a long period of time, I'll be able to tell if a guy was a FIP beater or not, but, like, that's what Fangraphs War is more based off of, and to me, like, I can go look at the components of how you play the game, and I can make some determination on the style points of it all and how you go about it. But like at the end of the day, B-War is like what actually happened, and like let's not lose the plot. Like the results do matter. There is something to be said for making a big pitch at a big moment. I'm talking about the pitching side of it. Obviously, it's also a little different from the hitting side of it. So I'm more of a B-War player. I don't think you should ever apologize for having a great season just because the numbers say the number. It's always the case. I think sometimes there's called being, doing the right thing at the right time and kind of saving yourself from sure death. So, yeah, wanted to comment on that. Italy manager dresses like Tony Soprano. He's the best. Cervelli, great dude. Think he's got a big time future in this game. Multilingual, gets along with everybody. I thought his temperament was outstanding as manager. He was a very fiery player. Temperament was outstanding as manager in this tournament. All right, what else we got here? DeRosa will get one more chance. Who's the real Captain America? I think we all know that's David Wright. It's pretty easy. The only powerhouses yet to win are PR and Korea. Yeah, Korea's not as strong right now, but you're right. Those teams are on the. They could get there. Antonacci wanted to get on another high IQ video. He probably will. I think we're going to make one again this weekend. We want to put them out on Sundays, so I know our timing was a little weird the first day, but I think that's what you can generally expect to see. All right. All right, we're almost to the bottom of this. Yeah, growing the beard a little bit. Not like really intentionally. Like they had me with the mustache for a bit, and then the rest of it's sort of filling in. But that'll be shaved quickly because I have work coming up, so I got to be clean shaven in a couple days. AO knows he's got to play the hits for the Mets fans with the David shout out. I mean, he is Captain America. He earned that role first. I don't think you just get it. I mean, technically, you're Captain America is your captain of the American team, but Captain America is David Wright. He was the OG. So, anyway. All right. Let's go watch. I definitely want to get into Gerrit. Gerrit pitched today. So that was exciting. I wanted to see him come back. I know he had a bit of a weird outing, right? 10 pitches, a lot happened. What was his final line? 1 inning, 2 hits, and zeros the rest of the way. 2 hard hits, no home runs, 10 pitches. Player breakdown on Gerrit. We'll look at the TJ stats as well. And then we could also watch Lagrange again because another 4 shutout innings. Didier Fuentes, I'm also curious about Sean Manaea. So now that we're here, let me just, before we do anything, let me just switch this out because now WBC talk is over for the moment. And we need to go back to spring training talk. And I know this is Baseball After Dark, but I don't have a different layout for both. All right. All right, so he threw 6 fastballs, 2 knuckle curves, and 2 sliders today. He threw hard. He averaged 97.1 today. That's up 1.2 from the last time we saw G. Sliders up 2 miles an hour. Knuckle curve up 1.6. Obviously, he's probably excited, but it's a pretty dang good sign that he threw hard. Good dang sign. Movement on everything. 4 seam was at 17 and 11. That's a big difference in run previously. 4 additional inches. Knuckle curve right where it was before. Slider basically right where it was before. Not really a whole lot of difference there. Spin rate ticked up a little bit. So there's one thing when you watch Gerrit pitch, you're always going to see a guy who is ahead in the count. He's going to throw a ton of strikes, and he's going to have a really good radar of what to throw. So let me go watch the video. Let's watch the damn video from today. Connelly Early also pitched in this game, I believe, and looked really good. So we might even want to watch him a little bit now that we're back to spring training watching. All right, my friend GerritCole, let's see him. First pitch of his outing is a 96.6 mile an hour fastball. And this jackass bunts it. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Now, I know Jared would say this is a great idea, and I know a lot of people think this is cool. This is not fucking cool. This is spring training. This is his first game back. This is how you get drilled, to be honest with you. You can say it's hard-nosed, I'm trying to make the team, play to win, etc., etc. Have a little fear. Have a little feel, dude. Have a little feel. I like the way that Gerrit went and slid for this ball and tried to make the play, but very weird start to this outing, for sure. So, leadoff bunt. All right, next batter is Christian Campbell. 96-3, strike one. Force him away. Here's a pickoff. Let's see how that looks. And this is one of those funny things, like you take so long to come back. You're throwing in super controlled environments, bullpens, live BPs, maybe even some games that go well, 3 up, 3 downs, and then all of a sudden you remember that real baseball is kind of mucked up and it's not that clean. Sometimes guys get bunt hits off of you, and you have to suddenly pitch with a man on first. You get punched in the mouth first pitch. So it's good. It's good for him. He got some pickoffs in. He had to go field his position. He got some grass stains on his pants. What's not to like? All right, 2-0. Throw down in the shitter. And now there's a stolen base. So already this hitter is an absolute pest. Bunt hit and stolen base, and Gerrit's on a 1-1 count. Here's the first slider we see. Does he get the chase? Does not get the chase. A little bit off the plate. Now he's going to get an out on that slider. Christian's under that slider. Not a great location there, but he pops it up. 97-1. So there's the first out. There's Grichuk out there in left. All right, next batter, Jason DeLay. Red Sox didn't exactly send the A squad to see Gerrit today, but big leaguers either way. Foul ball. Here's the first curve. Ooh, very nice. Dropped that curveball in very nicely. So now he's in the driver's seat, 0-2. And this pitch is almost 99 miles an hour. Runner going. Jackass gets thrown out. Good for you, man. See you later. Keep running. Freaking loser. Nice throw by, I believe is this Ascara? Or is this Wellesley already? Good throw. Good tag. See you later. Beat it. All right. Next pitch. Base hit, just misses down with the fastball. So 2 hits. Ball's hit pretty hard too. 104. Good swing by Jason DeLay. Now he's got to go back to the stretch. And he's going to get a 1 pitch out. First pitch curve to Hickey. And he has to go cover first from the second baseman. He saw a little bit of everything in that first inning. You know what, though? He came out of it good, I think. Looked great. Looked great. Definitely, obviously gave up some hits and a stolen base. One was a bunt, and one was a mistake down. But good to see him back out there. So that was cool. That was good. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Feel like Gerrit will be back before June. Definitely feeling about that. Definitely feeling that might be the key. Hey, did you ever pitch with any NPB or KBO ball? I've felt the balls, but I never really pitched with them much, to be honest. What's the difference between a curveball and knuckle curve? Really, there's no difference. Just the grip orientation. On a knuckle curve, you have your knuckle. You have this knuckle up. On a regular curve, it's down. So that's it. Aaron Nola throws the knuckle curve. Gerrit throws the knuckle curve. It's just a way of getting this finger out of the way, letting your middle finger do the driving, getting to the front of the ball, spinning that ball with top spin. This guy, Ward guy, broke the spring steals record. Oh, cool. Those mean a lot. Hey, if he gets on base, that means just, if he gets drilled, that means just getting on base twice. It is. It is. If you want to play that game, that's fine. Maybe they're just fucking with Cole. Maybe. But I don't know, man. There's a code in this game. I'm sorry to tell you. Maybe I'm old school in this way, but I don't love that. Honestly, I've seen guys get pissed off for stuff like that. First rehab game back, fucking relax. Catcher trying to throw runners out from his knees like Benito Santiago or something. Man, Benito was the OG. He was amazing. Didn't have command of his slider. Yeah, we only saw, what, 2 of them? But, yeah, they weren't very well commanded. What's anyone's guess? I would put the over-under on, honestly, like May 15th. And I think he might beat that. That's how good I think he's feeling and looking. Not that I have any crazy inside information. I've been leaving him alone for the most part. Thoughts on Benj versus Talkman? I haven't really keyed in on a lot of their stats yet. Obviously, I really like Talk a lot. I think he could help the Mets. Benj looks like a really good prospect, but I don't know. I think they'll go with the best option for opening day, and then Benj will eventually be the guy for sure. Or knuckle curves usually thrown harder? Usually, not always, though. Ohtani start was great. Okay, so if maybe we could watch that. I think it's a little weird not to be practicing your swing in spring training. What's the point of bunting? I guess that's just his game. He feels like this is my game. I have to show the team that this is my game. I mean, if you're him, do you. I get it. But I'm just saying it would have pissed me off if I was pitching. I would have been pissed. I don't get pissed that often, but I would have been pissed. I'm just trying to get my feet wet out here, man. I'm trying to throw strikes. Haven't been out here in a year. I don't know. I just don't like it. Rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what I don't know what I have to say. Hey, when you play in the big leagues, did you guys have an in-house Stuff Plus model? Yep, they all do. All the teams do. They all have their own models. Some of them were missing the boat for a while. I think they're getting better and better. Can we watch Shohei? Yeah, we can watch Shohei. I'm going to miss Buck Martinez ranting about the catchers on the knee. All right, before we watch Shohei, I want to go check a couple things. I want to see if we can get the Manaea info, which I don't think we can, but I'd like to try at least. First, I'm going to go to Garrett's TJ stats just for a second, just because I'm curious. Old GerritCole. Just curious what stats has for him. So, because he only threw a few pitches, but loves his stuff from today. 112 stuff grade on the 4-seam, 117 on the slider, 110 on the knuckle curve, 113 overall. So, all right, we're in a good spot, at least by TJ stats. TJ stats metrics. Now, who did the Metros play today, or were they off today? Canceled, so it must have been yesterday. Metropolitanos. Sean Manaea, generate. All right, the Tribal Chief. Guy I've just been a little worried about, although I did mention that in his previous spring start, I thought he actually looked a lot better with the shape of his changeup and the shape on his sinker. I thought that was a big deal, so before I even look into that, I know the velocity hasn't been there, but that was at least encouraging. So if the velocity comes back, we might be on the right track, at least with the shapes. All right, let's see what he did today. Because he threw 4 shutout innings with no hits and no walks. 4 perfect innings, 12 up, 12 down, almost 70% strikes. I mean, that's fantastic. But from a stuff perspective, so he averaged 88.4 with his 4-seam, 87.4 with the sinker. Continues to be an issue, the velo. We'll see if that kicks in. What about the shapes? 10 and 16 on the 4-seam. It's not bad for him. Sweeper, negative 0.5, basically an 8.5. Okay. He's done better than that before. Cutter, 8.9, negative 2.3. That's okay. Sinker is good. Sinker and changeup shape are much better now. 4 and negative 19.5. 3 and negative 20, basically. So, again, I'm encouraged by the sinker and the changeup shape. I know he didn't throw a ton of them. Only 7 out of 52 pitches, but those shapes are better than what we saw last year. Obviously, his stuff grade does not like him because he's throwing slow, mainly. But I'm still encouraged. I think if the velocity can get up and maybe he's just working back into it, if he can get over 91 consistently, I mean, he's got enough funk to him to be good. But the velo is still a little concerning. Now, let's see if we can get this game. Marlins and Mets, right? From 2 days ago. I'm not hopeful. Well, let's see. Because sometimes in this ballpark in Jupiter, if this is where they played it, I don't know if they played it in Jupes or not. Looks like it might have been in St. Lucie. We probably won't get it. Oh, we got it. We got it, guys. We got the center field cam because it was played in Roger Dean, so we can watch it. He gets 12 guys out, so let's just watch every pitch really fast. I'm not going to do too much analysis. I'm just going to watch it. This is the first batter of the game. Otto Lopez? Yeah, Otto Lopez, fresh off his Canada experience. There's that changeup. Here's a fastball. Little fly out. Next batter. Do you think he was working on velo in the offseason? Probably not. Probably just rehabbing, honestly. He had such a tough year health-wise. I think the biggest thing was just feeling good coming back in. There's an out on a cutter. That was a pretty good cutter. 10 and 5 is good. Here's the sweeper. Definitely gets a little lower on that sweeper. Change up. Ooh, we didn't like it, but it's going to be an out. Man, Norby hit this one good, but no homer. Look at Sean's reaction. Yee. All right, that was the first inning. Second inning here. He needed an outing like this, though, where things just go right and you just feel good and you get flowing. Slider away. And really, I'm rooting so hard for Sean because he's truly one of the best teammates I've ever had. What a great human being. And no, here's a 90-mile-an-hour pitch, more or less. Doors up in. He doesn't need much with his angle. Doesn't need much, but he needs a little something. I mean, I think in his no-hitter versus the 2018 Red Sox, one of the best teams of the last 20 years, he was only throwing, I believe, like 92. So he doesn't need much. I just need him. I need him to have a little more than what he's got right now. And I know it's spring, but I need him to have a little more than what he's got right now. I love the sinker left on left. That's a good pitch. That's negative 21. I mean, the sinker's a weapon for him. He should be using that more. Sweeper off the cap. I mean, just some fastballs in the 86s are not great. Why did Manaea decide not to get surgery for the loose bodies? I don't know the specifics of that, but sometimes when you anytime you have a surgery and you open that thing up and you go take a poke around, there's risk there. So if they felt like he could get away from the symptoms, then maybe it makes sense sometimes to not, go in there. Will they let you shout out B and C on? Yes. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they'll talk about it at some point. But obviously, I'm there to do my job. Also, it's been announced now, so you guys will know. I'm going to be contributing to NBC Sports Sunday night games on both Peacock and NBC this year. Can't really reveal the exact role, but I'll be contributing, and I'll be there opening day. Mets Pirates in the building, breaking it all down at times. So that should be very fun. And I just got a new date. I saw on the 29th, I'll be in Seattle, which is pretty awesome. So very excited for this, and we'll see how this all goes. So very pumped. Also saw Anthony Rizzo today where I'm at. So he's with NBC too. So I was chatting with him a little bit. What about Lagrange? Hey, we can watch Lagrange too. I don't want to take too long because my daughter's like not sleeping. So, but it probably won't be a 2-hour stream, but we'll watch some of it. Anyway, we're rolling through this Manaea, and then maybe we have Shohei if we want to watch Shohei. We have Lagrange if we watch Lagrange. We could watch Early. I mean, there's a lot of pitchers to watch. Here's a strikeout. Probably up and away. Yeah, that up and away spot, when he throws it to righties, Sean, and he gets the good ride on it, it's just such a blind spot versus him. People swing and miss at this stuff all day long, as I'm sure Mets fans can recall from when he was shoving. Are you working with Votto? So Votto's in studio. I'm not quite in studio. I have a little bit of a different role here. What's interesting is the in the booth people for NBC which I think is brilliant. They're going to have Jason Benetti, but then as the play-by-play, but then the analysts are going to be locally connected guys to the teams that are playing. So I saw today, opening day, it's going to be Al Leiter, who obviously was a Met, and Neil Walker, who's obviously a Pirate. So also should be a really fun matchup. It looks like it'll probably be Skeens Peralta, right? So that should be great. Very excited for that one. There's a line out. So he's definitely given up some hard contact in this game and been fortunate. But either way, I mean, again, the shapes are starting to look a little bit better. He needed an outing like this. I think the number one thing we're waiting to see when the season opens and when the game starts, when the games begin, is just what's that velo number looking like? It doesn't have to be spectacular, but you'd like to start with a 9, right? Here's a little chopper. Here comes Lindor. Good to see that guy scampering across the infield healthy again. Always a good sign to see Frankie out there. Yeah, the super slow sweeper is working for him, right? I mean, I've been looking, it's another thing that maybe he's stealing from Sale a little bit. A lot of guys like to go with the really hard sweeper, but the slow sweeper can work for you 100%. Yeah, Lindor's back. Yeah, correct. You're onto it, Maya, but I can't talk about it yet. We'll see. The only thing I'll tell you is if you watch the NBA coverage on NBC, there's an interesting role that Austin Rivers does sometimes. It's going to be a similar concept with baseball, with myself, and I think Kershaw doing some of it. Really good changeup here. This is a hell of a pitch. And then last year, remember, he just stopped throwing his changeup. He just stopped his changeup. Yeah, Casas is going to be doing some studio stuff. All right, so this is his last pitch of the day, and it was a dandy. So, hey, good for Sean. 12 up, 12 down. We'll continue to monitor that. But I thought that was important. All right, 2 more guys we want to look at, right? We'll circle back to Lagrange first because this guy's becoming hard to ignore. He's simply not like the others. He's just not. He's so big. He throws gas. Throws absolute gas. And he's got really good pitches. So I'm not going to watch every pitch. I'm just going to go to the results here. All right, here's a changeup. 94.5 on the changeup. Gets him out front. Little tapper to third. Easy ground out there. Next batter, 3-0. Oh, it's a walk. So this was one of his only issues he had last year in the minors, was just a bit too many walks. A lot of guys probably just feel like they can't hit him. So why swing? Oh, my friend Ward. How did that feel? Go grab some pine. Go think about this swing decision. Oh, that's a slammer. Slammer. 94-1 straight down. See you later. All right, one pitch out here of Christian Campbell. Ooh, one of his slowest pitches I've ever seen him throw is a fastball. Only 98.6. Everything okay, Carlos? All right. Ooh, he gives up a hit here on a changeup. 0-2 changeup. Jason DeLay's had some good swings. He had a good swing on G. Good swing here. Almost takes Lagrange out here on the 0-2 changeup. He's not used to giving up anything on that. Good swing there. There's an out on the changeup. I think the changeup's his best secondary. It's actually incredible that he has such a good one. Good play by Rice. Good recovery. Considering how hard he throws. A lot of people don't have feel when they throw that hard for a changeup. Another out with a changeup. And this is why everybody that wants to rush him into the bullpen should just give us a second. Because this guy might be the real deal starting. 100-mile-an-hour heater. Popped up. Belly's there. 2 pitch out here. Just beats him, jams him. Can of shit. This is a strikeout on a backdoor sweeper. Can I help you? Nope. And then Punchy on a changeup. He's got a great changeup. He really does. I love his changeup. All right. Another out on a fastball. Yeah, you can see Ward. That's why he doesn't swing the bat. I mean, what a terrible swing. Are we kidding? I know I'm being harsh on this guy, but come on. That's why he bunts. All right, you're out. Next batter, Christian Campbell. Swing still looks the same. Doesn't look like it changed that much. I was told it had changed. All right, here's a hit. Is this Jason DeLay again? Man, Jason DeLay is just getting himself on. Also, that's probably an error. Jazz should have had that. Does his changeup have a couple of shapes? I think that, it's just probably not the most consistent of shapes. But overall, it's such a good pitch off of his fastball. What was his TJ stats looking like? TJ Stuff Plus Live. Carlos Lagrange. All right. So final line, 4 innings, 2 hits, 4 Ks, 1 walk. He's becoming hard to ignore. He's got like a sub-1 ERA in spring, and he's thrown a lot. There's no doubt he could help the team today. But I think there's so much upside here. You don't want to mess this up. I mean, okay, so He averaged 99.6 on the 4 today, 17 and 8. Above average there for a 115 stuff grade. Slider, 91 at 6 and negative 4.5. 115 stuff grade there. I mean, 91 mile an hour slider, that plays. That's got good movement on it too. Changeup, this is my favorite pitch. They have it as rated as his worst, but I think changeups are hard to grade. 92.1, so absurdly fast. And 8.5 and 15.5. So that's good separation, I think, off of the four seam. And that's what you're seeing in the swings. And then the sweeper, which is a weird pitch for him because that's his slow down pitch, 2 speeds down, 83, 4.2 and negative 16. I mean, that's a ton of movement too at 118 stuff grade. So it's not hard to see it. He's different. He's different. He just is. You know, he's not like the others. I really like Elmer. I like a lot of these guys, but this guy is a monster. So I'm very excited to see him when he gets to the big leagues because he's had a hell of a camp. He really, really has. All right, let me go to Early. Competing for that last spot. 5 innings, 1 hit, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 1 hit batter, 61% strikes. He's got a huge arsenal. 4-seam slider, sinker, changeup, curveball, sweeper. Averaged almost 95 with his 4-seam today. The changeup's a crazy pitch. Kick change at -3 and -14. I love that pitch so much. That's crazy separation off his 4-seam. It's like 18 inches of separation, so it's gross. He's also very, very good. So maybe we'll quickly watch Early here, and then maybe we'll wrap it up with Shohei. And we'll get on out of here for the night. All right. Same game, so we don't got to go very far. Connelly Early, and I think he had to face a lot of the big guys because they were in Steinbrenner Field. So let's speed watch him. First batter of the game is Mr. Ahmed Rosario. There's that kick change, and Rosario, just hit it a little too hard. Yeah, 108. Good swing. Just hit it too hard. All right, here's a punchy of Ben Arroz. Nice curveball. Go sit in the truck. 2 outs. Next batter. Oh, Big G. Gonna punch him with the 4-seam. Up and away. Pretty darn late on that. So nice first inning for Mr. Early. Second inning, Cody. 1-1 gyro slider. Don't really remember seeing a lot of these last year. Maybe it was more labeled as a cutter. Kind of gets him off the end, pops him up. For the first out there. Second out on a changeup. Oh, Gerrit just throwing more pitches down there in the pen. Again, the changeup is consistently in the negative vert. Really, really nasty. Very impressed with him. Here's Jazz. Punch Jazz out looking. I didn't really get a good view of that. Oh, we're not going to get center field. I forgot. All right, next inning. Caballero, changeup. He's going to try to bunt, right? Should I be mad at him for bunting too? Maybe not as much, because I think Early's been in the swing of things. Do I love it? No. But I get it. That's part of his game. All right, Wellesley, back from his Dominican experience. Gets it off the end. Little fly out. Is that Campbell in center? Yeah. 3-2 changeup for a ball to Kennedy Corona. Yeah, I think the Toddfather might be in the booth. I'll actually be in the booth on the 20th and the 22nd on Yes for the spring games that are coming up. I think one's the Rays, one's the Phillies. So one of them is in literally 2 days. So stay tuned on that. You'll hear me talking. Curveball in the dirt. Nice pitch there. This is a 3-pitch strikeout, so we'll watch the whole thing. Look at Rosario all over the dish. Slider strike. 4-seam probably up in. I mean, if you're going to be that on the dish, you got to rush you in a little. No, down and away, just laid on it. And then punches him with the curveball. Yeah, they're early on the changeup. No pun intended. Here's a called strike 3. Ben Rice 0 for 2 with 2 punchies. Now here's G again. Ooh, he gets a hit on an 0-2 curveball. Little chopper the other way, base hit. Here's the hit by pitch. Catches belly with the changeup. So 2 on here, and then he's going to get a big strikeout of Grichuk. 4-seamer. Beats him up top. Good pitch. Called strike 3 here to Jazz. So he punches Jazz out looking twice. Did Jazz want timeout? I don't know what happened. Doesn't matter. You're out. Next batter. Caballero. Ground out on changeup. This is -5.5 vert. That's so much drop. He's got a knack for that kick change. He really does. Little rollover by Cobby. Out here to Wellesley on a sinker in. Just kind of beats him. Left on left sinker is a little bit of I think, an Achilles heel for Wellesley at times. Good pitch. Kennedy Corona. Hits it hard. Nice play at shortstop. Med Rosario, 3rd time he gets to see him. And he walks him. So a leadoff walk here in the 6th, and that's it. Alex goes and gets him, and that's it. Good outing, though. Good outing. Had it all working. You see the depth of stuff he has. Pretty impressive stuff. I think he's got a good shot. I know Oviedo's in the mix as well, but I think he's got a good shot. Another term I don't know, kick change. So yeah, so it's a new pitch. Talked about it a lot on the stream. Kick change, a normal change up like this, right? Circle change. The only difference is the kick change, you knuckle up this finger to kick. You kick the ball and you kick the axis into an orientation that creates more drop. Pitch has only been recently invented. Probably the last pitch we'll ever see invented, so pretty cool. How much variety is there between the movement of different changeups since the speed drop is the defining characteristic? So not totally true, Maya. There's 2 ways that a changeup can work, and they're kind of different. Some people have elements of both, but yes, the speed change is its traditional manner. You know, when I was growing up, you were told 10 to 15 mile an hour difference was the key. But then if you recall, Greinke, Felix Hernandez, and a lot of modern pitchers went to more of a changeup that had more of a differential from the fastball to the changeup in terms of vertical break, but maintained a pretty similar speed, maybe only a couple mile an hour off. At times, King Felix and Greinke threw there was only 1 or 2 miles an hour off, but it had distinct late drop relative to their fastball. Therefore, it was a changeup in that kind of variety. That's what Early has going on. Of course, he has some speed differential as well, but a lot of it is the vertical separation. If his 4-seam is at like 16 vert, 16 inches of induced vert, and this pitch is at -4, I mean, that's you're talking 20 inches. So that allows him to throw a pitch that appears down the middle and still get it below the zone. Very deadly thing to have. There's also such a thing as having too much separation, but it's pretty impressive that we've now seen guys who can consistently create negative vertical break on changeups, whereas they still have above average rise on fastballs. In the past, the only people who could create negative vertical break on changeups are people who also threw sinkers, people who already had naturally sinking action. So I don't know. It's just a new phenomenon a little bit. So why is it still called the changeup? Why not give it a new name? They are calling it a kick change in this case, but I guess the change is not just related to speed. It's also related to induced vertical break. So those are both changeups, just different kind of changeups. All right, we're done with that. Let's move on to Shohei, Mr. Shohei Ohtani, and this will be our last guy because I'm tired. Shohei pitched today, huh? LA and Milwaukee? Or was it yesterday? Was it yesterday? Oh, Roki pitched in this game. Well, so we'll take a 1-second look at his TJ. I'm not going to watch Roki tonight. 3 1/3, 3 earned, 4 hits, 5 Ks, 4 walks, 1 home run. Threw more cutters, 19 cutters. So I'm curious about that a little bit, but I'm not going to watch that today. I thought he pitched. I clicked on the wrong LA game. There was 2 LA games today. LA, Milwaukee, and then what's the other one? Oh, that's LAA, SF, and Dodgers. This is it, Shohei. All right, let me look at his TJ stuff before we go ahead and watch the video. 19 4-seamers, 14 splits. So he threw more splits than we saw him throwing at the end of last year. He was holding back a little bit on the split, I thought, last year. 10 sinkers, 9 sweepers, 7 curves, 2 sliders. Average 97.6 on the 4. Plenty of velo. Stuff grades, they have him a little bit above average. They have his sinker below and his curveball below, everything else above. Sweeper was a pitch. You know, he's been a kind of a morphing pitcher over the years where he favors one thing or another, actually sort of like Skeens. But anyway, I just want to watch it. I'm not going to watch every pitch, I don't think, but I'll watch. We'll do the same thing we just did for the most part. Dodgers and Gigantes. Oh, I'm just looking in the chat for a second because somebody asked something about Shohei earlier. I don't want to miss that. For Shohei later, he was throwing a different splitter today, way slower and less arm side run. Okay. Splitter, this game was down 3.5 miles an hour, had 5 inches less of run. Okay, so more of a straight down forkball type of thing. So maybe that's what I noticed, that he was experimenting, throwing more of those. All right, so here's his first batter.
Big league park, you realize, hey, ready to go.
Of course, this clip is all jacked up. This is going to be the first pitch, even though it says it's the second pitch. So we're not really going to get to see anything this first at bat. All right, next at bat.
You sneeze and you lose.
In play outs on 1-0, so falls behind each of the first 2 guys. Who's he facing? Patrick Bailey here? Our clips are messed up. That's not right, so not going to get any info there.
You know, and that's positioning. Oh, this is spring training.
Well, this is how Bailey got out. Ground ball up the middle. So we pretty much missed the whole first inning. Let's see if the second inning's any better. Here's a hit on a sweeper. Who's this, Matos? No, this is Helio Ramos, who we just saw from Puerto Rico. So he hits a sweeper for a double here. Where was this pitch in the zone? Pretty good swing. Pretty good swing, just doesn't get it away enough. All right, here's a strikeout. 99 miles an hour to, is this Willie Adames? Yep. Doors. All right, so there's the first strikeout. 99 up. Here's another out on a sweeper. Gerard Encarnacion, former Marlin. Line drive to center. Is that also on a sweeper? Yep. So a couple outs on sweepers here. Here's that split.
And a 2-2 pitch now to Brennan. Struck him out.
Yeah, I mean, wonder if he's moving more towards the forkball style. It looks, I'm going to go check the spin and all that stuff on Savant after. I'm going to hunt for a few splitters in here. Here's one.
Center fielder this
85-8. He was throwing them at like 9 o'clock, right?
Fouled away.
There's another one in the dirt. Ball. All right, let's move on. Let's watch the rest of the outs. Here's a sinker to Matos. Oh, watch out. Here's an out on a curveball. Yeah, averaged over 90 last year. So this is a big difference. Maybe he's moving a little bit more to the forkball orientation, a little deeper split. Interesting choice, but I'm not going to doubt any decisions he makes until we watch it play out. Here's a 4-pitch walk to Jung-Hoo Lee. And then he's going to get a called strikeout here on a curveball.
2-2 pitch.
Oof, that was beautiful. That was very pretty. Nice curveball there. All right, here's an out on a sinker. Velocity's been very good. Good pitch to Matt Chapman. Nice play by Mook. And another called strike 3 on the curveball. Oof, nice. Just a second split. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Well, we'll stay tuned. But it does definitely appear that he's trying to throw a different version in this game. Here's the 4-seam. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Little chopper to Freddie. Wow, what a crazy play for the double play. Not assuming anything, goes to second on this. What a weird play. Good play by Freddie.
And a ground ball to Freeman.
He'll turn, throw to second.
And they get the double play. Runner didn't even run.
It's a heck of a play.
Wow.
And a runner.
I love the way Freddie always like catches it and throws it right away when the inning's over to the second baseman.
2-2 to Brennan.
One of his signature moves. All right, so there's a split. Also very slow, kind of a loose spin to it. Gets the rollover, and that's it for the outing. Let me go to his savant real quick from this game. So everything was down, to be fair, but the split, yeah, way down. 86.5, had been averaging 90.3. Sweeper is always also way down, and curveball. Curveball looked incredible today, even though it was slow. The new split got 4 swings and 2 whiffs. What was the difference in spin? So the spin went down 170. So it's hard to tell. Maybe he's a little bit wider on this. Not totally sure what we're looking at yet. Definitely something to be monitored in the movement department. Yeah, it moved less. Dropped a little bit less. I don't know what to make of that yet. Maybe just not ripping some of these pitches as hard. Hard to tell. But he had plenty of velocity. He looked fine. Very curious how this is going to go. I would have bet anything that they were going to I would have bet anything that they were going to slow play him again on the mound, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe he said, I want to go for it this year a little bit on the mound, and you're not going to tell him no, right? Harsh to see spring training baseball after WBC. I know. We got another 7 days of this, but we did get to see some interesting stuff today. All those pitchers are curious guys. Cole, Lagrange, Early, obviously Shohei. Speaking of throwing slower, Alek Manoah is throwing 88 mile-an-hour sinkers, registering as changeups. What a fall from grace. I mean, that's what I was doing in the WBC, but yeah, that sucks for Manoah. I was hoping for more out of him, but we'll see. All right, that's it. That's it for the stream. Short stream tonight. I'm tired. Got to call it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'd like to do After Dark tomorrow, but we'll see. So stay tuned. Really appreciate you guys hanging with me tonight. Really good turnout. Much needed, but I got to get this kid to sleep. So thanks so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, stay tuned for videos and everything else. I'll see you guys on the Discord. All right, have a good night, everybody.